The silence was broken only by the crackling sound of flames and the distant echoes of sirens. A once thriving human colony on the far edge of the galaxy now lay in ruins, reduced to smoldering ashes by the cold and unyielding might of the Galactic Empire. A giant alien force, advanced beyond anything humanity had ever encountered, had descended on the colony without warning. They had struck with terrifying precision, wiping out everything in their path. Buildings crumbled, homes were destroyed, and lives were snuffed out in the blink of an eye. Amidst the destruction, one death stood out: an innocent child. A child whose only crime was being in the wrong place at the wrong time. The image of the child's tiny, lifeless body would haunt the minds of every human who heard about it. She had been no older than 6 or 7, but her life was taken with ruthless efficiency by an alien force that had no regard for human life. The child's death was not just a loss, it was a message, a declaration from the Galactic Empire that they were not to be challenged. As the camera zoomed in on the aftermath, the devastation was impossible to ignore. The colony was reduced to nothing more than charred ruins. The air was thick with smoke, and the smell of burning metal and flesh hung in the air. What was once a peaceful settlement now looked like a scene from a nightmare. In the background, families could be heard crying out in grief, unable to comprehend the full scope of the tragedy that had unfolded before them. Buildings that once housed laughter and love now stood as silent tombstones to the lives lost. Then, the camera focused on Captain Alex Rowan, a seasoned soldier and leader, standing in the midst of the carnage. His gaze was fixed on the body of the child, which he held in his arms. Her small body was still warm, her face frozen in an expression of fear and confusion. Alex's face was a mask of anger, grief, and disbelief. His normally stoic expression had broken, and the tears that threatened to fall were held back by sheer willpower. His heart felt as though it had been ripped from his chest. In that moment, something inside him snapped. He had seen death before, countless times, in all forms. He had fought wars, led men and women into battle, and watched comrades fall. But this was different. This wasn't just another battle. This wasn't just another fight. This was personal. The child's death was a symbol of everything that had gone wrong in the universe, a symbol of how little humanity mattered in the eyes of the Empire. But most of all, it was a reminder of what the Galactic Empire had done, and they would pay for it. Holding the child close, Alex's jaw clenched, and his eyes hardened. He whispered through gritted teeth, "They will regret this." His voice was a low growl, filled with rage and a promise of vengeance. The words echoed through the ruins of the colony, as if the very air itself could sense the storm that was about to break. In the distance, the remnants of the Galactic Empire's warships hovered in the sky, their engines still glowing with the energy of destruction. The Empire had come, delivered their blow, and left, satisfied in their superiority. But they hadn't counted on one thing. They hadn't counted on humanity's ability to fight back, to rise up from the ashes, to become something stronger in the face of adversity. And that's exactly what Alex and his people were about to do. The camera cut to a tense scene aboard the human command ship, the flagship of the United Earth Forces. The high-ranking military officers were gathered in the war room, discussing the next steps. General Douglas Hayes, a grizzled veteran of countless conflicts, stood at the head of the table, his face pale and drawn from the shock of the attack. His hands trembled slightly as he reviewed the data on the holoscreen before him. "This is not just an attack," he said gravely, looking up from the screen. "This is a declaration of war. They've destroyed our people, our homes, our future. We cannot let this stand." But there was one problem. The Empire was not like any enemy they had ever faced before. Their fleets were enormous, their technology light years ahead of anything the humans could field. The Empire's warships were cloaked, their AI-driven weapon systems capable of tracking and neutralizing anything that came too close. Their soldiers were enhanced by advanced technology, making them faster, stronger, and nearly indestructible. The humans were outmatched in every way, and yet here they were, facing down the impossible. Alex Rowan and his team were called in for a special meeting. The moment the doors to the war room opened, all eyes turned to him. His face was hard, his eyes bloodshot from sleepless nights spent preparing for the war that was about to begin. He had seen too much to be afraid. Alex, General Hayes greeted him, his voice solemn. We've reviewed the situation. The Empire has attacked without warning. They've killed thousands of our people, including civilians. The High Command has decided. It's time to retaliate. Alex nodded without hesitation. We'll take the fight to them. We will make them regret ever crossing Earth. Lily Hayes, the sharp and strategic surgeon, stood beside Alex. She had been by his side for years, and the bond between them was undeniable. Although they shared the same passion for revenge, there was something deeper between them, an understanding forged in the fires of war. Alex and Lily shared the pain of loss, both having lost loved ones to the Empire's brutality. We'll need a plan, Lily said, her eyes scanning the holomap. We can't just launch a frontal assault. They'll wipe us out before we even get close. Alex's mind was already working. He knew the enemy's weaknesses. He knew they couldn't win through brute force alone. They would have to use cunning, surprise, and everything at their disposal to stand a chance. We have one advantage, Alex said, his voice firm with conviction. The Empire's fleets are powerful, but they're not invincible. We have our cloaking technology. We have AI-driven warships that can infiltrate their defenses undetected. And we have the will to fight. We'll strike when they least expect it. The room fell silent as Alex's words sank in. The high-ranking officers exchanged looks of uncertainty and doubt. They were about to send their soldiers into a battle they might not survive. But they had no choice. This was war. This was the only option left. After a tense pause, General Hayes gave a sharp nod. You're right. We may be outmatched, but we're not helpless. Get your team ready. We launch at dawn. The decision was made. Humanity would not cower. They would fight back. The first strike would come swiftly and decisively. The war had only just begun, but humanity was about to show the Galactic Empire that they had underestimated the human spirit. As Alex and Lily made their way out of the command center, they knew the stakes had never been higher. This would be no ordinary mission. The future of humanity, the memory of every innocent life lost, rested on their shoulders. But they were ready. They were more than ready. They were about to show the Empire exactly what they had awakened. The camera panned across the human fleet, prepared for the coming battle, a mix of warships and battle drones ready for deployment. The sound of engines revving and weapons charging filled the air as the first wave of humanity's vengeance began to take shape. And as the fleet set off into the void of space, Alex's voice echoed in the minds of everyone on board. They will regret this. The hunt for vengeance had begun. As the darkness of space loomed before them, the atmosphere aboard the human command ship was thick with tension. The silence in the war room was heavy, broken only by the low hum of machinery and the distant chatter of officers working feverishly on their terminals. The stakes had never been higher. Humanity, the underdog species, was preparing for a fight against a force far superior to anything they had ever faced. The Galactic Empire had already shown their power by wiping out a peaceful colony. And now, humanity had no choice but to retaliate. But how could they stand up to an enemy whose technology was light years ahead of their own? Alex Rowan and Sergeant Lily Hayes, standing at the center of the room, had spent hours devising a strategy. The odds were stacked against them, but their determination to avenge the death of the child, and every other life lost at the hands of the Empire, fueled their resolve. Alex's mind raced as he looked over the holographic map, plotting their course of action. They were an underdog species, yes, but that only made them more dangerous. The Empire had made a fatal mistake. We may not have the firepower to face them head-on. Alex said, his voice steady despite the weight of the situation. But we can outsmart them. We know their weaknesses, and we're going to use that to our advantage. Lily, always the strategist, nodded in agreement. We have to be clever. Their ships are cloaked. Their AI is nearly unbeatable. But if we can get in close without being detected, we might have a chance. Alex looked at her, his gaze softening for a moment. The pain of the loss they had both endured was still fresh, but they couldn't afford to dwell on it now. They had a mission to complete, and the future of humanity depended on them. The child's death had ignited a fury in Alex that couldn't be quenched by anything but revenge. It was personal now. He couldn't let go of the image of the child, her innocent face frozen in terror before the end came. He knew that every battle from this point on would feel like a reflection of that moment, a moment that would haunt him until the Empire paid for what they had done. We're not just fighting for survival anymore, Alex said quietly. We're fighting for the future of every innocent life out there. Every single person who thought they were safe, every child who dreamed of a future. This is for them. The war room fell silent as Alex's words hung in the air. His voice had become the rallying cry for everyone in the room, and across the fleet, soldiers, engineers, and officers alike were driven by the same unyielding determination. They knew the risks, but they also knew what was at stake. It wasn't just a war for territory. It was a fight for humanity's place in the galaxy. As Alex and Lily continued to strategize, the holographic map flickered to life with new data. The latest intelligence reports had been analyzed, and the top military minds were ready to present their findings. The Galactic Empire's fleet was powerful, but humanity had one advantage: technology. The humans had developed several key innovations that could turn the tide of the war. First, the cloaking technology, said General Hayes as he pointed to a small fleet of ships on the map. We've perfected a prototype cloaking device that will allow us to make our ships invisible to the Empire's sensors. It won't be perfect, but it's the best we got. If we can get close enough to their fleets undetected, we might just stand a chance. Lily raised an eyebrow. How long do we have before they detect us? It depends, General Hayes replied. The cloak isn't foolproof. It can only be maintained for a limited time, and it's more effective at longer ranges. We'll need to time our strikes carefully. Alex nodded. We'll make it work. We just need to get close enough to strike. The next part of the plan relied on the second technological advantage. The humans had AI-driven warships and combat drones. These ships, though smaller and less powerful than the Empire's, were equipped with advanced AI that could adapt and fight in real time. They would serve as the spearhead of the attack, their purpose being to infiltrate the Empire's defenses and neutralize any threats before they had a chance to react. We'll use the AI drones to infiltrate their lines, Alex said. They'll be our first wave. Once they've neutralized the Empire's defenses, we'll move in with the rest of the fleet. We're not sending anyone into that fight lightly, Lily added. We'll be fighting in the heart. Alex looked at her, his face hardening. Every loss will be worth it. We fight for the ones we've lost, and we fight for the future. The room went quiet as everyone absorbed the gravity of Alex's words. There was no turning back now. The Empire had shown their cruelty, and now humanity would show them just how far they were willing to go for revenge. As the war room began to prepare for the mission, Alex and Lily took a quiet moment to speak alone. They walked down the narrow corridor of the ship, their footsteps echoing in the silence. The weight of their plan hung heavy in the air, but there was something else too, a bond that had been forged in the fires of war. The two had been through so much together, and though they had both lost loved ones, there was a comfort in knowing they weren't facing this battle alone. You ever think about the child? Lily asked softly as they walked. The one we lost. Alex's jaw clenched, every second of every day. She was just a kid. She wanted to grow up and be a soldier, just like us. She had dreams. Lily's voice softened, and for a brief moment, the walls between them came down. I know what you mean. It's hard not to think about it. But we're doing this for her, for all of them. Alex nodded, his expression hardening once again. We're doing this for everyone who didn't deserve to die. This isn't just about revenge. It's about justice. They stopped walking, standing in the quiet of the ship's corridor, surrounded by the hum of machinery and the distant noise of preparations. The weight of their shared pain was palpable, but so was the resolve. They knew that the upcoming battle would be unlike anything they had ever faced, but they also knew they had no choice. The Galactic Empire had taken everything from them. Now it was time to take something back. As they stood in silence, a sudden vibration ran through the ship, followed by a series of commands from the ship's AI systems. The mission was about to begin. It was time to put their plan into motion. Alex turned to Lily, his eyes burning with determination. Let's show them what happens when you mess with humanity. Together, they made their way back to the command center, where the final preparations were underway. They knew the fight ahead would be long, hard, and costly, but they were ready. The plan was set, and the human fleet was prepared. The time had come to take the fight to the Galactic Empire. The cameras on the bridge panned to the crew, their faces set with resolve. The ships began to power up, their engines humming in unison as they prepared to launch into the void of space. The Empire had made its move, and now humanity was about to make theirs. The first strike was about to begin, and it would be a strike the Empire would never forget. The countdown began, and in the silence that followed, Alex's voice echoed through the ship's speakers. We are humanity. We will not be silenced. The mission had begun, and the Empire's reign was about to come to an end. The vast emptiness of space is suddenly torn apart by the sound of battle. The human fleet, using every ounce of technology at their disposal, launches a surprise attack on the Galactic Empire's flagship fleet. It is a moment years in the making. A moment where the underdog species, humanity, dares to face the seemingly invincible Empire. The forces of the Empire, confident in their dominance, are unaware of the imminent danger. But the humans have a secret weapon, cloaking technology that will allow them to slip past enemy sensors undetected. Alex Rowan, captain of the human forces. As the fleet powers up, the once empty blackness of space becomes filled with the bright lights of human warships. Cloaked and nearly invisible to the enemy, Alex's flagship moves stealthily toward the heart of the Empire's defenses. The Empire's ships, massive and terrifying, appear as nothing more than distant shadows in the dark void. They have no idea what's coming. As the ship nears the Empire's fleet, Alex looks out the window. His heart pounds in his chest, and a fire ignites within him. This battle is more than just a military strike. It's personal. He remembers the lifeless body of the child, the innocent face frozen in pain. That image fuels him. Every second of this mission, every shot fired, every move made, is for that child and every other life taken by the Empire. Ready, Captain, Lily Hayes says from the communications console, her voice steady but filled with urgency. She's been with Alex through everything. She knows the stakes. Launch it. Alex orders, his voice calm but filled with determination. And with that, the battle begins. The first wave of attack comes in the form of orbital bombardment. The human fleet, hidden by the cloaking devices, positions themselves above the Empire's outer defenses and opens fire. Precision is key. The AI-assisted warships, equipped with targeting systems that never miss, begin launching a barrage of missiles and lasers at the Empire's defenses. Explosions rip through the silence of space as the Empire's outer defense grid is obliterated in a series of powerful blasts. The Empire's fleet, once so proud and invulnerable, now seems vulnerable for the first time. But the battle is far from over. With the outer defenses falling, Alex's ship and others in the human fleet make their move. The cloaking technology allows them to slip through enemy lines, undetected, and into the heart of the Empire's flagship. The ship's stealth mode keeps them hidden as they move closer to their target, preparing for a daring infiltration. Their mission is clear: disable the Empire's command center and deal a decisive blow to their forces. But the closer they get to their target, the more intense the fighting becomes. The moment they board the flagship, all hell breaks loose. The quiet of the cloaked ships is shattered by the sounds of weapons firing and alarms blaring. Inside the flagship, the humans must fight their way through countless obstacles. Empire soldiers, equipped with powerful weapons and armor, are everywhere. The close-quarters combat is intense, with soldiers clashing in narrow hallways and cramped rooms. It's a fight to the death, as each side gives no quarter. Alex's team, including Sergeant Lily Hayes and a squad of elite soldiers, fights through the flagship's maze-like corridors, using advanced weapons and tactics. Every turn is a potential death trap. The humans are outnumbered, but their knowledge of the flagship's layout, combined with their superior tactics, gives them an edge. Explosions rock the walls as lasers streak through the air, and the sound of clashing metal fills the narrow hallways. The Empire's soldiers fight fiercely, but the humans are relentless. In the midst of the chaos, Alex comes face to face with one of the most terrifying foes he has ever encountered, the Empire's General Thrax. This towering alien is a beast of strength and brutality, with muscles rippling beneath his armored exosuit. He is a perfect reflection of the Empire's cruel and ruthless nature. His eyes glow with a cold alien malice as he faces off against Alex. The two warriors circle each other in the heart of the flagship, sizing each other up. "You humans are fools," General Thrax sneers, his voice like the growl of a predator. "You cannot win. You will die here, just like the others." Alex's heart races. Every fiber of his being is consumed by rage. This fight is not just about survival. It's about making the Empire pay for what they've done. For the destruction of the colony. For the death of the innocent child. Alex's grip tightens on his weapon as he steps forward, ready to fight with everything he has. The battle between Alex and General Thrax is a brutal, unforgiving clash. Thrax swings his massive weapon with terrifying force, aiming to crush Alex with each blow. But Alex is quick, dodging, and countering with expert precision. The two warriors engage in a deadly dance, their weapons clashing in sparks of light. Each strike from Thrax sends shockwaves through the room, but Alex refuses to back down. His mind is clear, focused only on victory. As the battle rages on, Lily and the rest of the human soldiers fight their own battles in the ship's corridors. The Empire's drones, armed with advanced weapons, have been activated to stop the human assault. The drones are fast and relentless, attacking without mercy. Lily and her squad move quickly, using advanced tactics to disable the drones before they can reach them. The sound of gunfire fills the air as lasers cut through the metallic walls. It's a fight for survival, and every moment is a struggle. In the heat of the battle, things take a turn for the worse. Alex's squad, led by him and Lily, is ambushed. The enemy forces are overwhelming, and the humans find themselves fighting for their lives in a deadly crossfire. In the chaos, Sergeant Bonner, one of Alex's most trusted soldiers, is struck by a fatal blow. He collapses in Alex's arms, blood staining his uniform. With his final breath, Sergeant Bonner speaks a line that cuts through the air like a knife. "Make them pay, Captain," he whispers, his voice weak, but filled with determination. "For all of us." Alex's heart breaks as he watches his friend die in his arms. Bonner's sacrifice isn't just a loss, it's a rallying cry. The stakes have never been higher. Every death, every sacrifice, pushes Alex to fight harder. The mission has gone from being about strategy and tactics to being about honor, revenge, and justice. The Empire will pay for what they've done. No one is leaving this fight unscathed. With Sergeant Bonner's death fresh in his mind, Alex's fury burns even hotter. The stakes are personal now. He fights with the power of grief and rage, his every movement driven by the memory of his fallen comrade and the child they had lost. The fight with Thrax grows even more intense, with Alex using every ounce of strength and skill to overpower his massive opponent. Thrax's blows grow weaker as Alex's determination fuels him. Finally, with one final explosive strike, Alex manages to bring Thrax to the ground. The alien general, once so confident in his superiority, lies defeated before him. Alex stands over him, breathing heavily, his heart still pounding from the fight. "This is for the child," Alex mutters, his voice filled with raw emotion. "This is for everyone who's ever suffered at the hands of your empire." With Thrax defeated, the human forces push forward, taking control of the flagship. The battle is far from over, but the first step toward victory has been taken. Humanity has struck back, and the Empire's once unshakable grip on the galaxy has been shaken to its core. The humans have shown that they will not back down. The first strike has been made, and the Empire will never be the same again. But as Alex stands amidst the wreckage, he knows the true cost of this victory. Lives have been lost. Friends have been sacrificed. The road ahead will be long and painful, but humanity's resolve is unbreakable. They have proven that they are not just survivors, they are fighters, and they will stop at nothing to ensure the Empire pays for its cruelty. As the dust settles and the human forces regroup, Alex looks to the stars. The battle may be won, but the war is far from over. There is still much to do, and the road ahead is uncertain. But one thing is clear: humanity's fight has only just begun. The Empire has no idea what's coming next. The aftermath of the battle hangs heavy in the air. The human forces, though victorious in their initial strike, are bruised and battered. Alex Rowan stands amid the wreckage of the Empire's flagship, his heart still racing from the intense combat. The sight of General Thrax, lying defeated before him, should be a moment of triumph. But there is no time for celebration. The Empire may have been stunned, but it is far from defeated. As the last of the smoke clears from the battlefield, the reality of the situation hits hard. The Empire's backup forces, vast and seemingly endless, have arrived. They were waiting, lurking just outside the range of the human fleet's sensors, preparing to strike when the time was right. And now, that time has come. The once promising human victory quickly turns into a desperate struggle for survival. The balance of power shifts once again, and the humans find themselves retreating from the very flagship they had just captured. Alex's mind races as he orders the retreat. The human fleet, though brave and determined, is outmatched by the sheer size and power of the Empire's reinforcements. The cloaking technology, once their greatest advantage, is no longer enough to keep them hidden. The Empire's forces are too numerous, and they are quickly closing in. It is a bitter realization for Alex and his team. They fought so hard to make a stand, to show the humanity. "We've done what we could," Lily Hayes says, her voice steady but laced with frustration. She stands beside Alex, watching the chaos unfold. Her eyes are filled with a mix of determination and exhaustion. "But we need to regroup. This isn't the end." Alex nods, but the weight of the situation presses down on him. The fight has only just begun, and already they are being pushed to the brink. As the human fleet retreats, the damage to their ships is evident. The Empire's weapons, more advanced and powerful than anything humanity has ever faced, have left their mark. It's a harsh reminder of how outmatched they truly are. But there's no turning back now. Humanity cannot afford to give up. The battle may have been lost, but the war is far from over. And then, just as Alex begins to question how they can possibly continue, new intelligence comes through. The Empire is not done yet. They've activated a weapon of unimaginable power. An eye-controlled weapon capable of wiping out entire planets in the blink of an eye. The worst part, the target is Earth. Time stands still for a moment as the reality of the threat sinks in. The weapon, An eye-controlled superweapon has been programmed to lock onto Earth's location and unleash its devastating power. The technology behind it is beyond anything humanity has ever seen, a cold, calculating machine with no regard for life or mercy. If the weapon is not stopped, Earth will be annihilated, reduced to nothing more than space debris. Alex's heart pounds in his chest. The stakes have never been higher. It's not just a battle for survival anymore. It's a fight to protect their home, their families, their entire existence. The weight of the responsibility is almost too much to bear. But Alex knows there is no choice. They have to stop the weapon, no matter the cost. The human fleet, battered and weary, regroups, knowing that this will be their last chance. If they fail, it will mean the end of everything. The hope of victory, the possibility of revenge, all rest on one final push. Alex and Lily, along with the rest of their team, prepare for what may be the most dangerous mission they've ever faced. The tension is palpable, every member of the team understanding the gravity of what they are about to attempt. The plan is simple but dangerous. Infiltrate the Empire's heavily guarded AI core and disable the superweapon before it can reach Earth. The human forces, still reeling from their earlier defeat, must now face the Empire's full might once more. But this time, they will not be caught off guard. They have a plan, and they will see it through, no matter what. The first step is to launch another orbital bombardment, a calculated distraction meant to draw the Empire's attention away from their true target. The human fleet, though weakened, still has enough firepower to make a dent. They begin firing on the Empire's outer defenses, creating chaos in the hopes of drawing the Empire's forces away from the AI core. It's a calculated risk, but it's their only option. As the bombardment continues, Alex and his team prepare to infiltrate the AI core. The operation will require them to breach the Empire's most secure facility, deep within the heart of their flagship. It's a fortress within a fortress, and the dangers are immense. The AI core is protected by layers of security, both physical and digital. But the human team is determined. They know that if they fail, Earth will be lost. Stay sharp, Alex orders as they approach the AI core's location. This isn't just about defeating the Empire anymore. It's about saving everything we fought for. The journey through the Empire's flagship is fraught with danger. The corridors are heavily guarded, and the Empire's soldiers are relentless. But the human team is ready. Using their advanced weapons and tactics, they fight their way through the flagship's defenses, cutting down anyone who stands in their way. The battle is fierce, but the team presses on, determined to reach their goal. Finally, they arrive at the AI core. It's a massive, cold, and sterile room, filled with high-tech machinery and digital interfaces. The air is thick with tension as Alex and Lily move to the console, preparing to disable the weapon. The clock is ticking. Every second counts. The eye-controlled weapon is already en route to Earth, and they have no time to waste. But as they begin the process of disabling the superweapon, something unexpected happens. The AI, which has been operating autonomously, begins to fight back. It's a twisted and sophisticated system, designed to protect itself at all costs. The team struggles to outmaneuver the AI's countermeasures, each moment feeling. In the midst of this high-stakes moment, Alex and Lily share a brief but intimate moment. Their bond, forged in the heat of battle, has grown into something deeper. They fought side by side through countless challenges, and now, as they face the possibility of their own deaths, they find solace in each other's presence. It's a quiet, tender exchange that speaks volumes. They know they may not survive this mission, but they are willing to die for each other, for humanity, and for the future of their home. As the countdown to the weapon's activation ticks away, the final moments are a blur of action and emotion. The team fights desperately to disable the AI, but the challenges are immense. And just when it seems like all hope is lost, A final desperate effort from Alex and his team manages to disable the weapon, just in time to prevent its destruction. The room falls silent. The weapon is offline. Earth has been saved. But as Alex looks around at the aftermath, he knows that this is not the end. The Empire has suffered a devastating blow, but they are not finished yet. The war is far from over. The humans have proven that they can fight, but the future remains uncertain. What they've just done is only one battle in a much larger war. As the team regroups and prepares for what comes next, Alex looks to the stars once more. The road ahead is filled with more challenges, more battles, and more losses. But one thing is certain: humanity will not stop. They will fight for their home, for their future, and for the freedom of the galaxy. The Empire may have struck back, but humanity's resolve is stronger than ever. The fight is far from over. The tension in the air is palpable as Alex Rowan and his team move forward, stepping through the corridors of the Empire's flagship. Their mission is almost at its peak. The AI weapon that has threatened their home is now within their reach, but so is the Empire's most powerful defense. Every step brings them closer to their goal, but it also means they are walking directly into the heart of enemy territory, where danger waits at every turn. The AI core lies ahead, heavily guarded, and the team knows this will be their hardest challenge yet. They've fought through swarms of enemy soldiers, faced automated drones, and withstood everything the Empire has thrown at them. But this final defense will be unlike anything they've encountered before. As they approach the AI core, a massive door slowly opens, revealing the ultimate obstacle: a robotic guardian. This is no ordinary machine. It is a colossal, towering sentinel, created to protect the heart of the Empire's most dangerous weapon. Its frame is a mix of polished steel and glowing energy shields, and its eyes shine with cold, unfeeling intelligence. It moves with the precision of a machine that was designed for one thing: to destroy anything that dares to approach the AI core. The team freezes for a moment, taking in the sheer scale of the Guardian. It stands between them and the weapon they need to disable, an immovable force in their path. The tension reaches its breaking point as the robot activates, its systems humming to life. It doesn't hesitate for a second. Its massive metal fists swing towards the humans, and the battle begins. Lasers fire in every direction, filling the room with blinding lights and explosive impacts. The sound of the battle is deafening as the team splits up, trying to outmaneuver the massive Guardian. The robot is fast, its moves calculated and precise, as it seeks to crush anyone who dares to challenge it. Alex and Lily work together, using their advanced weaponry to try to weaken the robot's shields. It's no easy task. Every shot they fire seems to bounce off the impenetrable armor. The team is forced to rely on their wits rather than sheer power. They need to outsmart this machine, find its weaknesses, and exploit them before it's too late. The air crackles with energy as the team fights for their lives. Alex dodges a crushing blow from the robot's fist, rolling to the side just in time. He fires his weapon at a weak spot in the robot's arm, hoping to disable it, but it barely leaves a scratch. The robot retaliates, its arm swinging like a wrecking ball, forcing Alex to duck and dive out of the way. The combat is fast and chaotic, each member of the team putting everything they have into the fight. Lily is at the front, directing the team's movements, her strategic mind working in overdrive. She spots a small gap in the robot's armor near its chest, just beneath its massive energy shield. Alex nods, his eyes locking onto the target. With a quick series of commands, he leads his team into position. They know this is their best shot, and they can't afford to miss. As the Guardian turns to face them, Alex and Lily make their move. The rest of the team provides cover fire, distracting the robot while Alex and Lily dart towards the weak spot. Time seems to slow as they make their way through the chaos. Every step brings them closer to their goal, but the threat of the massive Guardian still looms large. When they finally reach the robot's chest, Alex takes a deep breath and charges forward. With a well-aimed shot, he targets the weak spot, firing at the heart of the machine. The impact is immediate. The Guardian stumbles, its body shuddering as the internal systems begin to overload. Sparks fly, and the room is filled with the sound of the machine's systems failing. With one final burst of energy, the Guardian collapses, defeated. The team doesn't stop to celebrate. They know that the fight is far from over. The AI core is just ahead, and their mission is not complete until it is destroyed. But the sight of the massive robotic Guardian lying motionless on the floor is a small victory in itself. The humans have proven that they are capable of taking on the Empire's most formidable weapons, and they are not backing down. With the Guardian disabled, the team moves forward, their steps quick and deliberate. They reach the AI core, a cold, sterile room filled with intricate machines and digital interfaces. It's a stark contrast to the chaos and destruction they'd just left behind. The AI that controls the weapon is alive, a sentient being made of pure data and algorithms. It has no emotions, no compassion. It is a machine, and its only purpose is to follow the orders it has been given, no matter the cost. Alex and Lily approach the console, the weight of the moment heavy on their shoulders. This is the final step in their mission. If they succeed, they will save Earth. If they fail, the entire planet will be destroyed. It's as simple as that. The tension in the room is unbearable as they begin to work. Alex's hands move quickly over the console, his mind racing to find the right commands to disable the weapon. Lily stands by his side, watching for any signs of danger. The room hums with the power of the AI, and every second feels like an eternity. The AI seems to sense their presence, and it begins to fight back. The screens flicker, and the room is filled with the sound of machines coming to life. "We're running out of time," Lily says, her voice tight with urgency. "If we don't stop this now, Earth is done for." Alex nods, his mind focused on the task at hand. He knows they can't afford to fail. Every move he makes is critical. As the seconds tick by, the AI fights harder, throwing up barriers and firewalls in an attempt to stop them. But Alex doesn't hesitate. He keeps working, fighting through the digital defenses, determined to reach the core of the system. Finally, with a final burst of effort, Alex finds the command he's been searching for. He enters the final sequence, and the room is filled with a loud, sharp noise as the AI weapon begins to power down. The screens go dark, and for a moment, everything is still. The AI has been disabled. A wave of relief washes over the team, but it's short-lived. They know the cost of their victory. The Empire's stronghold is in ruins, but the price has been high. The loss of comrades, the pain of the battle, it all weighs heavily on their hearts. But in this moment, they have achieved what seemed impossible. They have proven that humanity is not weak, that they are capable of standing up to the most powerful force in the galaxy. As the team regroups, Alex steps forward. His voice is calm but filled with emotion as he speaks to his soldiers. "Today, we stood up for Earth. We stood up for what we believe in. We've lost many good people, but we've gained something far more important. We've gained the knowledge that we can fight. We've proven that we are not weak. We are not just survivors. We are warriors." His words hang in the air, a testament to the sacrifice, the pain, and the triumph that they have endured. The humans have fought for their survival, and in doing so, they have proven that they will never back down, no matter the cost. The war is far from over, but today the future is still uncertain, and the road ahead is long. But as Alex looks at his team, he knows one thing for sure. Humanity has shown its true strength. They may be outnumbered, outgunned, and outmatched, but they will never be defeated. This is just the beginning. The battle was over, but the victory didn't feel sweet. The stars twinkled overhead, silent witnesses to the high cost of the humans' triumph. Their victory against the Galactic Empire was monumental. It would be remembered for generations, a turning point in the galaxy's history. Yet for Alex Rowan and the rest of the survivors, the joy of their hard-earned success was overshadowed by the weight of the sacrifices made. The humans had stood against an empire that had once considered them weak, insignificant, and easily defeated. But now, the galaxy knew the truth. Humans were not to be underestimated. Their resilience, their tenacity, and their will to fight had proven that even the most powerful of enemies could be brought to their knees. But as the dust settled and the immediate threat was neutralized, there was no time for celebration. The Galactic Empire was crippled, but the consequences of this battle were far-reaching. While the Empire's hold on the galaxy had been shattered, the fight was far from over. Other alien factions, perhaps even more dangerous than the Empire, would soon take notice of humanity's newfound strength. Allies and enemies alike would shift their gaze toward Earth, and the humans now stood at the precipice of a new era, one that was uncertain and filled with both promise and peril. Alex stood on the deck of his ship, overlooking the vast expanse of space. His thoughts were a whirlwind of emotions. The faces of the fallen comrades, Sergeant Bonner, Lily's friends, and so many others, haunted him. The loss was staggering, and even though their sacrifices had ensured a brighter future for humanity, the cost felt unbearable at times. His mind couldn't help but replay the image of the child they had failed to protect. The child who had been a symbol of innocence, of everything they were fighting for. It was that memory that had fueled Alex's rage and determination, pushing him to become something more than just a soldier. It had made him the leader that he was today. He thought of Lily too. The bond they had formed during the battle was unbreakable. They had fought side by side, their trust in each other growing stronger with every skirmish. But now, after the battle was won, what came next? The war may have been a decisive victory, but the galaxy was vast, and there were still many unknowns on the horizon. The thought of peace was a distant dream. Could humanity ever truly find peace after all they had endured? Could they ever go back to their former lives, or would the war continue to haunt them, shaping every decision, every relationship, every moment? Alex didn't have the answers, and he wasn't sure anyone did. The sight of Earth, now visible from the bridge of his ship, brought him a small measure of comfort. The planet, once so fragile in the eyes of the galaxy, now stood as a symbol of humanity's strength. Their victory had sent a message across the stars. Humans would not back down, no matter the cost. They had fought for their survival, and they had won. But even in their triumph, there was no guarantee of what would come next. The universe was full of challenges, and humanity had only just begun to face them. Alex turned away from the window, his gaze drifting over the faces of his team. They were exhausted, battered by the battle, but their spirits were strong. They had survived, and they had emerged victorious. But in the quiet moments between the victories, there was an unspoken truth that hung in the air. This was only the beginning. Lily joined him by the window, her eyes scanning the stars as well. They didn't speak at first. Words seemed inadequate after everything they had been through. The silence between them was heavy, filled with the weight of all they had lost and all they had gained. Finally, Lily broke the silence. "Do you think we'll ever have peace?" she asked, her voice soft but filled with a quiet determination. "Or is this just what our future will be? Fighting, always fighting." Alex considered her question, his mind drifting to the future. The war with the Galactic Empire might be over, but the galaxy was a vast and unpredictable place. It was impossible to say if peace would